What's up, gang? Welcome to Art at Home session number 7. Today we're going to be doing something part art, part game. So it's kind of like what we've been doing pretty much this week is we've basically been playing games. So let me show you what we need and we can get started. Alright, so the first thing we're going to need is a piece of fabric. If you guys have the other half or the other side of your sock that you guys used for the puppet, you guys can use the side you didn't use to create this project. Alright, so what I did was I turned my sock inside out. This is a sock that my daughter has outgrown, so she doesn't fit it anymore. So if you guys have any clothes that you don't fit, or should I say a sock that you don't fit, you can use it for this project. Okay, so what you're going to do is, the first thing you do is you're going to take that sock and you turn it inside out. Just like that. And then you're going to spread it wide. Okay, so this should be the base of the foot, the bottom of the foot. This is the back of the heel. These are the toes here. So what we're going to do is we're going to be using also scissors, glue. If you have hot glue and your mom or dad can help you, or an older sibling that actually uses hot glue, if they can help you with that, this will be a much faster project. But if not, your glue may have to work and you may have to leave it to dry for many hours and before you can do the next steps. But I mean, hey, if you have this, or if you don't, I mean, whatever you have is just make it work for you. So if you have hot glue, even better. But also you can use, if you guys can, I'm talking about the older kids, you guys know how to use a needle and thread. You guys can also use it for this project as well. Okay, so when I talk about using these products like the glue or the thread or the hot glue, I'll just say we need to seal. Okay, so that way we don't get too confused about, well, what are we sealing it with? Yeah, so you guys know if you are holding a needle and thread, or if you're holding glue, or if your mom or dad is helping you with the hot glue, you guys will know that you'll be sealing it with those things that you have available to you. Okay, so first thing we're gonna do is take our scissors and we're gonna cut right below the heel, and we're just gonna go straight across. The foot area. Okay, so now I have this, looks like a little bag. See that? A little bag in there. Alright, so that was my first step. My second step is I'm actually going to open up. This seems a little counterproductive, but for what I want to do with this project is I'm going to create a little animal, and I want the front here, I want to cut that open so that I can maybe put a little tongue sticking out the front, and maybe a couple of arms, little hands sticking out from either side. So if I cut a slit here, I can actually do that to the front. So I have this hole in the back, but I'm also going to cut a slit in the front. And we just want to cut the slit right in the front where the toes sit when your sock is on your foot. That's the only part we want to cut. We don't want to cut too far down, because then that just means we're going to have to seal it, seal more of it. Okay, so look. Now that I have the front toe area open, now I can actually stick my fingers all the way through the sock. Hello. Okay. Alright. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to lay that flat, and using my extra material here, I am going to cut out some shapes. I was saying earlier that I want possibly hands. So I noticed that on my daughter's sock, I have this nice big patch of pink, and I also have these striped areas here. So I might want to think about using these areas to create either my limbs or my tongue. And seeing that the body of my animal is going to be this stripe, maybe I'll make the hands and maybe the legs the stripe. And maybe what I'll do is, well, maybe I can use this red part up here in the Santa hat for the tongue. I can have the tongue sticking out. That's a good idea. So I'll go ahead and cut out that too. So basically all we're doing is we're just cutting fabric so that we can create our project. Alright, so the only thing I'm worried about with the tongue is trying to form the outside that's sticking out towards you, because the part that we're going to seal, the back side of the tongue, when we seal it, we're not even going to see it. So if I use this as my tongue, can I pull that out? And if I cut a little bit lower, it's a little bit embroidered on my daughter's sock, so I guess I'm just gonna trim it a little bit more, just so I can get that embroidered part off, because it's kind of making the tongue look funny. There we go. That's better. Okay. So anyway, I have this red thing I want to use for the tongue. Now the back end, it doesn't really matter what color it is because it's going to be inside the mouth. So I'm really all not that worried about it. All I want to do is shape my tongue so that it actually looks like a tongue. Okay. You guys are probably wondering, what kind of animal are we making? We are making a frog. So here's the tongue. Alright, and so the other pieces here that I have on the side, I'm gonna go ahead and cut arms and legs. Okay. So I'm probably only gonna need about 2-inch square for my arms and a 2-inch square piece for my legs. So these two should suffice for the arms and legs. And what I'm going to do is the arms and legs, they're going to just kind of have this almost like the tongue. It's going to look almost like the tongue. So that's basically what I'm going for. But now I just have to decide, like, how do I want the stripes to go across the legs, or do I want the stripes to go down the legs? That's the question. Now let's do something different. Let's go make it down the legs. So I'm going to split my leg fabric in half, and now I'm going to round it. I should make it a little bit skinnier too. I don't want my legs to be that thick, so make it a little bit skinnier, and then I'm just going to make it a little bit round, like the tongue is round. I'm just going to go ahead and make that round as well. There we go. Looks a little silly, actually. Okay, so I'm just going to go ahead and finish up with a few more of those for the arms, to finish the arms, and then one more to finish this leg. Alright, so we have 1, 2, 3, 4 limbs and tongue, and I'm going to cut out eyeballs. Let me just see. Yeah, see this patch here? This might make some good eyes. If you guys are working with a plain white sock, or a plain colored sock, that's no biggie, because you can actually use markers, or if you have a kind of paint or something, you can actually color over those spots to make or draw eyes. Okay, so I'm going to want to use some of this pink stuff. To make my eyes. And the eyes are usually round. Well, most of the time. Okay, so we have one round circle there for one eyeball. Two eyes, they're a little different size, but that's not a big deal. This frog is going to be silly looking. Alright, so ultimately this is what we need. We need the arms, legs, the tongue, the eyes, and the body. And now we can get to sealing. Alright, so if you guys are going to be using glue, then this is how it's going to go. Alright, so we're going to stick the tongue on the inside. See that? It's not going to be sticking out this way like that. We want it to look like this, but what's going to happen is it's easier for us to seal it when it's inside out. So we're going to go ahead and grab the tongue and put it right on the edge of the opening, and we're going to seal it here, and it's going to be sticking inside the body. Okay, you see that? The tongue is sticking inwards because I want this gray side to be on the inside of the body. So when I turn it inside out, what's going to happen is the tongue will be sticking out the front, and this part right here will be on the inside, so we won't be able to see it. So this will be invisible to us, but we will be able to see the tongue. So stick your tongue on the inside, and you can go ahead and put some sealant there, anchor it down. And so the same for the hands. I gotta cut my hands a little, my mouth a little bit wider. It's okay to make adjustments if you realize your shapes are too big, like my shapes are a little bit too big. So I'm just going to adjust really quick and make my holes a little bit bigger, so now I can open up and stretch that open a little bit more. Now the hands are going to do the same thing that the tongue is doing. It's going to go inside, and it's going to go as far as you can to where you finished your cut. See that? So the slice is right here, and what you're going to do is you're going to put the hands also facing inward. Okay? So both hands are going to face in towards the tongue, like that. And then you can go ahead and seal these things together, and seal the tongue here. And then when you have those things anchored down or tacked in with sealant, you're going to take the mouth, you're going to put it over the top of the arms and the tongue, and then you're going to use your sealant again to seal along the top part here, and you're going to press it, squeeze it, okay? And then you're going to take something flat, place it on top, find something heavy, that's some lotion, place it on top, and let that dry. Okay, so we'll be back to this a while later to finish this part, but since we're still working on sealing, the next thing we're going to seal in are the legs, and the legs are just going to go in the back here. So what you want to do is, we aren't going to actually seal this thing up all the way. We're just going to put a little bit of sealant here, and we're going to stick it on the outside. like that. Okay, so you're gonna leave your sock flat like this. You're gonna put some sealant here, however you want to seal it, and you're gonna have it sticking out the back. Sealant, and then stick it out like that. Okay, we're not going to turn the sock, we're not going to stick this on the inside here. We're going to leave it on the outside like this, because when we turn the sock inside out, these two sealed parts will be on the inside of the when you flip the sock inside out, these two rectangular cuts here will be on the inside of the body. So you're going to see that in just a second once everything is all nice and dry. So I'm still looking for something to place over my back legs so that they don't move around too much, because the sealant is there. So I'm going to use this remote control. Please don't use remote control. Find something that that you're allowed to use to place there. Alright, and I've got some coins in a coin jar. Alright, so now we're just going to wait for all of this to dry up, and then we're going to go ahead and flip it inside out so that we can see what it looks like after this. Oh, so shall we do the magic today? Alright, I guess we can use some magic. I have a little bit left in me before the weekend. Okay, so we've finished waiting for it to seal up. If you use glue, to dry. If you use hot glue, for it to cool down. If you used a needle and thread, which is what I did, then it should be nice and stuck. Now the next step is, after this is nice and dry or sealed together, we're going to take the sock and we're going to turn it back the right side in. And when you do that, you're going to have the parts that were sealed are now going to be on the inside of your sock. So where the feet were sealed, now the sealant is on the inside, and where your hands and tongue were, that's going to be sticking out now. Okay, see that? I could have stuck my tongue in a little bit deeper. There's some of the gray of the sock is showing, but it's not a big deal. I'm not worried about it. So now it looks like this little smashed frog like on the side of the road. Okay. Now for the eyes, what you can do is you can draw using a marker. You can draw eyes like we've been doing on our sock puppet or other crafts that we've been doing, our projects. You can draw eyes on there, and then once again you can add some glue or hot glue, and you can seal it to your the top of your sock so that your frog has eyes. Now here's the thing: when you seal this part here, you might want to stick a piece of cardboard inside your sock, so when you glue this down, the glue doesn't go all the way through to the bottom and seal up the entire sock, so you can put your fingers in it. Okay, so what you want to do is you want to seal those. Maybe put a piece of cardboard, slide it inside to keep it safe, and then once that's done drying, then we can move on to finally closing up the sock. Okay, so with a little bit of magic, we're gonna go ahead and get these eyeballs sealed onto our frog. Okay, so let's try that again. Habalaba, habalagi, habalaboo. All right, great. So now we have our finished, well, pretty much close to being finished, squished frog. We're gonna go ahead and do a couple more things to him before we can actually use this for our game. And what you can do is, if you guys have rice, I know what a precious commodity rice is in our house. So we have some mochi rice here that we use for our projects, and you can use mochi rice. You can use dried beans, like dried black beans or kidney beans, or any kind of a dried package of that. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna put it inside of our little sock frog. You can also use, remember when we did that project with the bunny rabbit and the mouse? You guys remember what product we used with that? Yeah, we used cotton. So if you guys have cotton, we can also use cotton balls for this last part. Okay? And so what you want to do is you want to stuff the cotton balls inside your frog. And try and get as many as you can in there to make it nice and not really firm, but just give it some body. So that looks pretty cute. I mean, like that's pretty substantial of a body. So I don't need to use all these cotton balls, but basically what we're going to do at the very end is we are going to go ahead and seal up this back end here using our sealant, whether it be glue, hot glue, or a needle and thread. We're just going to go ahead and finish sealing that up. And we're going to use magic one last time to get this bad boy all nice and set up, okay? Are we ready? And okay, so here we have our finished product. It's been sealed. It's been everything's been tacked down. It's all been sealed up. The stuff on the inside is all stuck inside. It ain't coming out. All right. And now we're ready to do our little frog game. Now that we have our frog all finished up. Okay. If you guys don't have any of these materials, I mean, you could look around the house for other things you could use for to pretend to be a frog to pass around. At the very least, maybe if you have a Ziploc bag and some paper, you can take out your art supplies and draw yourself a picture. Maybe you can, that's the wrong pen. Maybe you can draw yourself a Goofy Frog picture on top of the paper. Maybe you can draw your frog and slide the picture into the bag. And then inside the hole here, maybe you can fill that up with the beans or mochi rice, regular rice, not at our house, but rice, or even cotton balls in here. And then you can seal it up with a Ziploc, and to make sure that it stays in place, you can fold it over. And you can, if you have tape, you can tape it down across here so to make sure that all the stuff inside stays inside, and you can use that to play with. Worst comes to worst, maybe you guys have some gloves because your family has some gloves because of this whole corona thing. You know, you can use this, fill that up with some rice or some beans, and then go ahead and give it a tie at the back like a balloon, like a water balloon, just off the back, just so that you have some kind of like a little thing. But yeah, basically I wanted to show you guys this little sock frog and how this sock frog can be used to play a frog game. Okay, so basically for you guys to learn how to make this frog for the little frog game that you can play with it, I'm going to show you guys what frog game I'm talking about, and I'm going to use my family as a, what do you call it, as my models. They're going to play the game along with us so that you can see how they play the game, how you play the game with your little froggy that we just made. Yeah, so other than that, that's it. See you next time. Have a wonderful weekend. Tomorrow's Good Friday, so there's no class tomorrow. There's not going to be any art class tomorrow. And then there's Saturday, Sunday, so have a very nice weekend. Happy Aloha Friday early, and stay tuned if you want to see that game. It's coming up. Hey, what's up? So I'm outside with my family. They're going to demonstrate how to play the frog game, and they're going to be my models. So so here's my family. All right. All right. Are we ready?
Yes.
Okay. So the frog gets tossed to one player. Okay. You're gonna put your right hand over the other person's left hand who's sitting next to you. And we are going to sing a little chant while the frog moves from one person to the next person. Whoever gets has the frog in their hand last when the song is over is the loser. They're out. Okay, shall we try it? Yes. All right, here we go. 1, 2, 3.
Down by the river with a hanky-panky, where the bullfrog jumps from bank to banky with the east pipes hopes ups. Down by the river where the bullfrog jumps.
All right, you're out.
Dirty. Pass off.
All right, try one more time so that our friends at home can figure it out. Saul, you're gonna be the beginning now. Okay? You're the beginning now. Okay?
Second chance, Barry.
You ready? Let's watch that frog get passed around. Here we go. 1, 2, 3.
Down by the river where the hanky-panky, where the bullfrog jumps from bank to bank. Down by the river where the bullfrog jumps.
All right, gang. Hope you guys can play this game when you're at home, stuck during this quarantine. All right. See you next time. Bye.
Down by the river where the hanky-panky, where the bullfrog jumps from bank to bank. Down by the river where the bullfrog jumps.